Welcome back to the North Coast Coffee Club podcast. Brewed in Ballito, built for the North Coast. I'm your host, Bev Mileham, and if you're new here, a big warm welcome to the most inspiring, exciting, informative, and community-driven podcast on the North Coast of KZN. And with me in the studio today, we have the beautiful Toni Blumeris. I'm really excited to have you here, Toni, because Toni has been a key member of the North Coast Coffee Club for quite some time. Toni is a transformational psychologist, and she's also been a speaker at the Coffee Club as well. And very closer to home, you've been an amazing coach for my daughter in Dubai too. So yeah, you've brought about real change in their lives. So thank you for that, Toni.
It's an absolute pleasure, Bev, both to be here and also to have been of service.
No, you're amazing.
In your family, and it is thanks to your daughter that I have this little growing clientele in Dubai.
Yes, you do indeed. You're changing people's lives for sure, up there and locally here and all over. And Toni specializes in regulation of the nervous system. So Toni, I'm really interested to know how you got to doing what you do. What is the thread that's great? Because I know Toni long time ago was a model. Well, you're still pretty much like a model. You're a model. You've gone from model to market research, a kinesiologist. You're a mom. And I know you've had lots of different careers. So what is the thread that's actually connected all of those and brought you to what you're doing today with the nervous system?
Well, the nervous system was a pivotal turning point in my life. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. But the thread that holds all the chapters together, from modeling to psychology to market research, kinesiology,
yes,
all of those, coaching, was my own personal suffering. Not that anybody really knew it, because from the outside, I really looked like I had it all together, high achiever, performer, etc. But I was really, really good at masking an internal suffering that I couldn't understand.
Yeah.
And that is the thread, because through everything, one way or another, I was trying to heal myself. Yes. So modeling was to overcome shyness.
Wow.
Psychology was to heal myself through healing others. Kinesiology, same thing, working with the unconscious to try and heal. Market research was literally a default response, or reaction rather, to financial hardship and a marriage in trouble.
Wow.
So market research was it was a necessity of a different type, but I was really good at it, and I stayed there for many, many years, whilst doing all sorts of other healing, certifications, etc., to continually try and disrupt a deep level of suffering and unhappiness within myself.
So you've walked the talk. You've been through it yourself. And I think that allows you to have an incredible amount of empathy with other people that are in a difficult space at the moment, or that have just been through trauma or anxiety or whatever it might be. Yeah. Because you've really been through it yourself.
I have. I have. And there was a moment, where I realized that everything that I knew, all the information, all the training, the qualifications, the degrees, none of it could actually help me fundamentally shift the dial of unhappy to happy.
Right.
Or internal suffering to peace.
Yes.
So when everyone else was making dream boards of cars, etc., I was making dream boards of peace.
Oh, wow.
Because that is what I was seeking on the inside.
Yeah.
And it was end of 2022 into 2023 that I had 4 months of feeling suicidal.
Really?
That was like the big crunch point for me.
As recent as that, eh?
As recent as that, yeah. So it's been a lifelong of searching. Yes. And the one thing that kept me tethered to the planet was my children. Because I knew how much suffering I would hand over and leave as a legacy if I took my life.
Wow.
And then one day, I read a piece on the nervous system and suicide. And it was like
A light bulb moment.
oh my gosh, somebody gets me. Somebody can describe how I am actually feeling on the inside. And then I moved heaven and earth to get onto Damien Bowler's Regulate. And that saved my life.
That's where
That
it all
was it.
started.
That's
That's
where it
amazing
started.
that you've gone from that being so absolutely suicidal to what you are today and helping other people, be able to rise above their difficulties and so on as well.
And this is not the first rodeo with suicide. My first episodes were back in my early 20s.
Oh, wow.
And I also talked a lot of people down when I used to man the phones at Lifeline. So this really is something that I've walked with for a very, very long time. And it is only now I know when I am seriously dysregulated or if I've got back into that space, because that's the thought that comes up.
So this is your calling.
This is my calling. Correct.
When are you in absolute flow? What is a peak experience for you?
Peak experience for me is when my nervous system is so calm that literally what happens, this is my experience of life, is that I will get like an urge or a sensation coming through me that turns into a desire that becomes a thought, and I do it. It's like being in this beautiful natural flow, so that everything gets organized, everything ends up at the front door, the food gets cooked, everything gets done, and I arrive places on time. Which truly is a new habit.
Yeah, but well done.
For me.
Well done. And
yes, that's the feeling.
Oh, beautiful.
That is the feeling, and there's so much peace and so much joy that accompanies that experience.
Yeah.
So when I am a little bit off of that, I know.
So you need to be in that space. That's when the magic happens.
That's where the magic happens.
Yeah. So you often say that many people today are living in survival mode without even realizing it.
Yeah.
So that's obviously the opposite to what you've just explained now, euphoria. So what does it actually look like in everyday life when somebody is in survival mode?
It is like, the feeling of it is like you're constantly behind. You're constantly on a hamster wheel. The hamster wheel.
Yes.
Where you might want something different, but wow, you try a few things different, but it just feels like the pattern repeats over and over and over again. And like, I'm back here again. How did I get back here again? Other people might look in and see somebody who's got it all together, really performing, someone who's got loads of money, also got it sorted.
Yeah.
So money is not the thing.
No.
It is actually that inside, your body is unable to locate itself in space and time, and you feel really, really unsafe. But it is can be so suppressed and far down and so deep-rooted that it's normalized. So it's almost like, oh, this is normality, not knowing that normality is actually our true birthright, is the experience that I just described.
Yes. Yeah.
And you can actually see it in people because the energy, they'll look great and all beautifully made up and whatnot on the outside.
Like a swan on a lake that underneath it's stuck.
Correct. It's a beautiful, beautiful analogy. Beautiful analogy. So it's almost like you're arrested in time. It's like development has kind of stopped. Like something in you is frozen. And my work is to help people unstuck that, unfreeze that, so that they can feel life flowing and energy flowing through them again. But when we're living with this kind of what I call, it is inside of ourselves a physiological imbalance.
Okay.
And when we normalize that balance and we don't know, it's like we're living with a distortion, but we don't know there's a distortion. To give you a physical example, I don't know if you've been had that experience where you're in a gym class or a yoga class, and the instructor comes along and turns your body a bit, and you go, "Why are you doing that? I'm skew now." And she goes, "No, now you're straight."
It doesn't feel that way, but yes, it is.
Yeah. So survival mode can feel like you are functioning. You are functioning. Most times people are functioning, but they're living. It's like the lights are on, but nobody's home.
Yeah.
That is.
You're going through the motions, right?
Going through, and there are many different iterations of it.
Yeah.
And we're all unique, we're all individual. So the symptoms might look very, very different for you than what they might look for me. But yet, when we get deeply underneath it, we've got a dysregulation, a distortion. Something is misaligned.
Yes.
So my work is to help you find that alignment.
Okay, amazing. Your work focuses on the nervous system, as we've just said.
Yes, it's not all the work I do, but I do my best work when somebody has gone through the basics and the 101 of regulation.
Yes.
Then my work really kicks in.
Okay. So the regulation is almost like the foundation that you need to get that alignment so that you can then work with that. Then the space is open.
So what I'm finding in the space of my transformational psychology practice is that pretty much everybody walking through the door, I want to put them on a program first of all.
You first want to get
before we start our change work. That's how core has come to be.
Okay, so there's a 3-stage model.
Yes.
You've got your core, connect, and crown.
Yeah.
So just explain the 3 stages, and core would be the first, the foundation.
So it's a 3-stage nervous system capacity training program. And I use that word very particularly, capacity, because when we don't know that we're carrying this misalignment or distortion, but we will feel something's off, right? We have a repair stage, first of all. So what we don't want to do is take our distorted, misaligned body and build muscles into the distortion.
Yes.
Because then we are holding that distortion in our body.
Probably making it stronger.
We're making the distortion stronger. Exactly. Yes, I love what you've just said. So core is like the repair bit. Let's help get us straight from the inside, and let's help align things on the inside so that our roots are stable.
Sorry to interrupt you, but then does this affect you physiologically as well?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's not
Absolutely.
just thinking alignment. This could be a muscle. Like my neck I've got a problem with my neck. It could be coming out like that. Okay.
So we are coming into our program from a thinking perceptual perspective. And we're using thought and we're using our mind.
Yes.
But we're using our mind and training it to become deeply aware of how I'm feeling in my body, my sensations, my emotions, my thoughts, which way my body is orienting, how I am oriented to certain people, when I'm open, when I brace. And we might not even necessarily show it, but you feel it in your body. You feel it. So core is about repairing that. It's so difficult to try and put it into words. And this is still the bit that I'm getting used to explaining the differences between the 3 stages. Because core is like the roots of a tree. It's our foundation.
Yes.
We want a really strong root system that is going to hold the trunk.
Yes.
Or it's like a house. You want really strong foundations. Maybe you want to build another story on top.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to build another story if your foundations are cracked.
The tree's not going to be able to grow if the roots aren't strong.
Correct. Yeah. Would you like to build your house on the top of the Leaning Tower of Pisa? Or on a straight tower? Which would you prefer?
Yeah.
So what I find is that we try to do too much on the cracks. So it's like building a house on quicksand. This is why so many change initiatives collapse. Why New Year's resolutions collapse.
People can't sustain it.
Yeah. We can't sustain it because we don't have the nervous system capacity.
So you have these intentions, but you just can't cope with it to be able to take it to that
collapse.
level.
We keep on collapsing. We say, I really want to do X, Y, and Z, and I start getting fit, but then I collapse. And then we turn it on ourselves. I'm weak. I'm a failure.
Yeah. Wow.
What if it's actually a nervous system dysregulation issue? Now, let's get you regulated.
Right.
Let's stabilize your system. Let's get you straight. Once we've done that, right, we've ticked core. Now the next layer comes in.
I'm dying. I know we don't have time, but I'm dying to know, how do you do that? But anyway, we don't have time. But
so connect is the piece on top.
Yes.
That piece is about expanding our range.
Right.
Then comes in the final piece, which is going to be crown. It's like a crowning glory of now we really have a strong system. We have capacity in our system.
Beautiful.
And now we can thrive.
We can thrive, we can grow, and we can
So now I can scale my business.
Yes.
Now I can hold a number of different roles, and throughout I can still have that
amazing,
joyful flow.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's why it's 3-stage, and that's why it's also time. This is not a race.
Yeah,
you know, and it's and you know time. It's you know, because it's like going to the gym and overdoing it.
It's a journey that you have. It's a journey.
Yeah. So
have there been surprises for you along the way? Surprises in as you've worked with people and their nervous systems and so on.
Yeah, some beautiful ones. Really, I mean, now bear in mind, I started practicing back mid-90s.
Okay, yes.
So I've got psychologist, kind of my sort of more old school traditional studies. If I go back and compare client cases from then versus now, the change is much quicker.
Okay, oh, good.
People are, so I always say, you've got to go, one of my teachers said to me, you've got to go as slow as the slowest part of you needs to go, which is contrary to the kind of lifestyles that we live today, where we kind of pulling ourselves along.
Yes.
But it's the same as soldiers, you know, who say, no man left behind. We need to adopt the same for ourselves, as I'm not going to let or leave any part of myself behind. And that means slowing down. But in actual fact, sometimes slowing down means going faster. It's like the tortoise, the tortoise and the hare, the fable of the tortoise and the hare. So now what I find is when I've taken people through nervous system regulation practices alongside the therapies we're doing, what I'm finding is that I had a client who had this dream board, and within the space of a year, everything has happened for her.
Oh my gosh, I know what you're talking about.
I know.
My next question was going to be, do you have a success story to share?
I mean, that
I know. She's also part of the coffee club.
Part of the coffee club, and you sent her along to me, so there's all these little links.
I know.
But yes, I'm so excited. So excited for what's happening in her life. And it's only, we're March now, and I started consulting with her in June.
Yes.
Okay, in June last year.
Yes.
And then, you know, the other thing is like people come for anxiety or overwhelm or a relationship issue. And then 6 months, 8 months down the line, let me know, I also stopped smoking. I also stopped drinking.
Amazing, Toni.
I didn't actually try too hard.
Wow. What a rewarding, it must be so fulfilling for you, the work that you're doing.
Deeply.
Oh,
very, very deeply fulfilling.
You're
and
amazing.
Honestly, I don't feel like I go to work.
Oh, you're doing what you love.
I can't wait to wake up in the morning to do what I do.
Oh, you're amazing. You're absolutely amazing. We're going to be out there. We're going to be posting this. Follow us on YouTube, on Instagram, Facebook, and please subscribe to us on Facebook. And this is just the start of big things to come. Thank you very much. And stay connected, keep growing, and keep showing up. From Bev Mileham and the North Coast Coffee Club podcast, brewed in Ballito and built for the North Coast.